aka Corpus Colossal, Mad Max Fury Road. I'm here with another big celebrity, and I'm loving this guy's work at the moment. Absolutely, he's lit up. Clive Standen, who is famous for the Vikings, and now you can see him in the series Taken as Brian Mills. He is absolutely kicking goals with this show. It's rating well. It's doing, mate, how are you?
Very good. Radley's been great to me so far.
Oh, now, mate, you've had a very extensive career in both theatre, you've done film, you've done TV. Which is the medium that you like to do the most?
It's a good question. It's always theatre. Always theatre. Because I think I don't understand actors who in TV and film you work with actors and they save their performance for the camera, and it's almost like some actors they don't really feel the need to act off camera. For me, I'm always trying to chase the perfect take. You never really feel like you've got it right. You're always exploring a character, and in theatre, I think what we do is every performance, every night is a chance to do it again. You never rest on your laurels. You never play the same performance again. Real good acting is truly being in the moment and just responding to your fellow actor and what they say in that moment, and it's electric. It's tennis. Whereas on TV, sometimes once you've done that take and you move on, it becomes it gets manipulated by an editor, and it's no longer your performance. But theatre for me is always alive, and it's fiery every night. And like I said earlier in a question and answer panel, what I love about theatre is from the very first moment when the lights go down and we're all in our seats in the theatre, the first thing that happens when the lights go down and the spotlight comes on and the actor walks into the spotlight and begins to play is we all just lean forward on our chairs and we're engaging from the very beginning. And the audience, the actors do lose. And sometimes they do lose in a bad performance. The actors can start to shuffle on their seats and they get a bit tiresome. But in cinema, the first thing we do is we lean back and we wait to be entertained. We start looking at the performance. For me, the challenge coming from the theatre background is to try and build that bridge and make people on their sofas or make people in cinema kind of almost lean on their seats and engage. And no amount of action or explosions can do that. It's character. It's character that brings you into the story. So that's what I can bring from the theatre background. It's what keeps me excited.
And I've got to say, you are the quiet achiever. I say this for a good reason. When Vikings first came out, right, a lot of people on the social media said it was like the second hand of like Game of Thrones, right? That this was just the second prize to Game of Thrones when it was on. But you guys quickly picked the bootstraps up. And you guys just flew, and people quickly realised that, hang on, this isn't some secondary show. This is something pretty freaking amazing that has got its own legitimacy and is creating its own art, its own fan base. When you were, in the trenches there and you were seeing what was happening on Game of Thrones, was there a pressure to not be that or become something separately? To me there would have been pressure.
Yeah, there's definitely pressure. I think the main difference though between a show like Game of Thrones and Vikings is that Game of Thrones is a fantasy show. It's just one author's imagination, whereas Vikings is an historical based show where you've got the imaginations and the facts of many different historians, and obviously Michael Hirst, the writer, putting the dramatic edge on it.
Yeah.
But for me personally, it's about the Vikings. They've never really been explored on screen before, and unlike any other race that have lived in the past.
Yeah.
And it always comes from working with good people. We had this brilliant director from the first 3 episodes of season 1 of Vikings, Johan Rick, and he just wouldn't rest on any laurels. It's like, just because you've seen guys running into battle and screaming, just because you've seen Braveheart, which is brilliant, it doesn't mean every battle scene has to be like that. And he's always pushing the envelope, going, why would someone run into battle? and they just exert so much energy. By the time they kind of meet their foe, they're going to be tired. So why don't the Vikings, who have got far more discipline than the Saxons, why don't they wait to clash shields before they let out that aggression? And it's just because you've seen a beheading, which is in Vikings we have sacrifices. Why do they have to put their head on a chopping board? Because you saw Mary Queen of Scots. It's been done. He was always going, let's do something different. And if different is not what people want, and then we crash and burn, at least we try to give something that was original. It's better doing that than doing the same old BS that gets cancelled because people are bored of seeing the same thing. And that's why I don't think we ever really competed with Game of Thrones, because we were always thinking about our MO and about trying to just portray this race of people in a very discursive light.
Now, mate, now you are taking over the Brian Mills character in Taken. Now, I gotta admit, my friend, I was skeptical. Alright? I'm a fan of yours, but I was like, it's gonna be a tough ask.
Yeah.
But as soon as your on-screen daughter is killed, like, I was hooked on it sinking. I think everyone was. What was that like, just taking on the role, making it your own? Like, how did you do that?
Yeah. Well, I always justified it by Liam Neeson's character in the film is the character Brian Mills at the end of my story, my character's story. He's the grizzled CIA veteran who's retired. He's learned that particular set of skills, but the only real skill that Brian Mills has that sets him aside from anyone else in the armed forces or anything is forward momentum. Yeah, when other people turn a cheek and pretend it's not happening, when something bad happens, or some people run the other direction, some people freeze like deers in headlights, he goes straight forwards, and he's always thinking outside the box. He's always trying to move forwards and to put pressure on. Whereas that's Liam's character. He's already formulated a plan. He's going to kick ass and take names. But Brian Mills, I'm playing this at the very beginning of his journey. So he's got that skill set, but he has that thing, that forward momentum, but he doesn't quite know what he's going to do when he gets there.
Okay, I've got to ask you about this forward momentum. In one of the recent episodes, I think it's episode 3 or 4, Jennifer Beals' character asks you to take out a senator. And you do it, no questions asked. You just up there in the watch tower, pull the trigger, tap to the chest, and it's gone. Are you having to now work out where Brian Wilson's moral compass is?
Yes.
His moral line? Because I think for you, that's something that you would personally struggle with about, he's a family man, he's a loving guy, but when he's asked to pull the trigger, it's 2 taps to the head, 1 to the chest, and let's go home for coffee.
Yeah, but he's trusting the people he works for. He's also lost something. I mean, the film's called Taken, the series is called Taken. I think it's not because someone gets kidnapped each week or whatever, it's because something was taken from him that he can never, ever replace. And that gives him an ability to be selfless, because he doesn't have much regard for his own safety. But he's going to trust this woman. It's the only woman that's going to take him on board and said this is a chance for him to honour his sister. But he also, drama is built on conflict, and he's going to trust these people. But what's interesting for me, and there will be a point where he goes to the dark side, and this is the beginning, because he's going to start thinking other people he works for are just as bad as the people he's told to take out. And that's when your moral compass starts to get tested. And my job, obviously, in the TV series is to build him week in, out, episode after episode, hopefully season after season. And that's my job after when I take him so far down that rabbit hole, I can pull it back.
Okay, now I've got to get this one question steeped in reality a bit. Mate, you are a big advocate of the sea shepherd. You are a big advocate of the environment, the Great Barrier Reef, you're anti-whaling, anti-dolphin hunting. Mate, tell us, how can people get in touch with the charity? How can they get involved, and really how have you found your association of it?
I'm a big supporter of Sea Shepherd, because I believe that if you really want the change and you want to see change, then you have to stand up and be counted. I'm a big supporter of Greenpeace, but I'm not a big supporter of spending all day making flags and banners saying don't kill the whales, and then watching whalers just take their boat straight past your boat and then murder whales. Sea Shepherd is all about direct action. It's about standing up and being heard. And if you want to see change, without the oceans, we will die. And I think if you want to see change, you've got to, the more people that support a charity and stand up for what they believe in, then we can make a change. We need to put pressure on certain cultures who are still relying on things that are part of their history, and much of this is barbaric history, and it should be kept in the history books. It's about progressing as a human race, and I think we all have to stand together, and if we do that, we can make a change.